Hello, hello, hello. If you can hear me, come on in, say hi. Who we got online today? We got Jessa. Who else we got? Crop it in. Boom, boom. Ed's there. Ken, Marnie. Sure, Marnie comes by actually. Oop, Marnie. Boop, 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 boop. I'm just adding people, guys. If you're coming in, just say hello in the chat. Just going to share this out to some people. I'm going to do some studio stuff today, so hopefully you can hear me with my headphones on. I'm going to pull out the light heads, and we're gonna do some studio lighting stuff today. Here we are. If you're coming in, say hello in the chat. I'm probably going to open this up so that you guys can talk to me while I'm out here. Come in, let me know, say hello. I will come over and check the chat in a second. But if you are wondering what the hell's going on, we're going to do some studio lighting today. So come on in, say hello, and let's take you through. I'm going to talk you through really basic stuff here, guys. So if you're a professional photographer, this isn't really for you. This is really for the real beginners. And yeah, we're just going to take you through some real basics in studio lighting today, and setting up lights and stuff for maybe people who haven't done that before or don't know much about it. So hopefully you can see me. Hello, can you hear me pretty well? Say hello in the chat, guys, if you can hear me. You have a strange name. You can go away. Mute and block. Hey, Jessa. Hey. Can you hear me well enough, Jessa? I've got my headphones on, so I'll walk over here. Can you hear me well enough over here? Whatever, I'm over here. I'm going to set up some lighting today and take you guys through some basics in studio lighting. Fun times, right? There is a studio booking in theory that hasn't come in yet, so I may have to ditch this idea at a certain point if they suddenly come in, but for right now, we're here and see what we can do. So say hi in the chat, tell me if you can hear me, and what I might do is like make a little room for people to say hello and ask questions, because then I'll be able to hear you in my ears. Let's see. Laura, say hello. Can you hear me when I'm over there? Hey, Randy. Can you hear me when I'm over here, Randy? Can you hear me pretty well? I thought if I put the headphones on, it's probably the best way to hear me. Can you hear me really well if I'm over here? Question mark. Yep, says crop it like it's hot. Hey, crop it like it's hot. Thanks for you just joined us yesterday or overnight. You're fine. Perfect. All right. So what we're going to do today, guys, is go through some studio lighting stuff. This is for real beginners. Basically, I'm not going to do much fancy stuff, but I'm just going to walk through the basics of some studio lighting stuff. Here we have my light heads. So I'm not really going to be brand orientated with anything I talk about, guys. So I'm just talking about the theory of lighting and photography and stuff in general. These are probably some of the best lighting heads you can get. It's called ProPhoto. I swear by these. I've been through like Alan Crom and other brands and stuff. Like I said, this isn't an advertisement for ProPhoto. I certainly don't make any money from telling you guys about that, but certainly this is the top of the range stuff. But you can do what I'm going to set up and talk to you about with anything. Hannah from our community uses a softbox and creates beautiful, beautiful images. And I think she said the softbox and speed light cost her about 200 quid. So are you out there, Hannah? Say hello if you are. Hear you fine. Thanks for sharing, guys. And just see, we've got Crop It Like It's Hot is a new guy who I came across just overnight or this morning. I basically followed you, Crop It Like It's Hot, for the name. It's a great name. Crop it like it's hot. I've always said that cropping a photo can make or break the photo, honestly. If you're getting really good about photography, you're getting really into it, cropping does definitely make or break a photo, I think. Cropping, framing, same thing. All right, so I'm going to set up here. It's taking me a little bit of seconds to get this all hooked up, but obviously we've got power coming to the light heads. The light heads are, like a single thing vibe, and then this one doesn't have a model light, I think, but testing it, can you see the fire there? There we go. Boom. I think I'm gonna like swipe towards the room and invite you all so that you can talk to me while I'm over there. It might make a bit more sense. Hey Trevor, hey guys, if you're coming in for the first time, say hi. We're gonna do some studio lighting today. So how do I do this? I'm gonna go this button and I'm gonna go invite. Trevor, is that my friend Trevor? I'm not sure. Crop it like it's hot. You're a new friend. You can jump on in. There we go. And then you guys can talk to me while I'm over there and ask questions politely in some kind of rationalized order where you're not going to talk over each other, right? Hey, Randy. Guys, mute yourselves if you're not asking a question. If you have music on the background, that's not going to help me. Thank you, thank you. So, super boring part of photography is cable management. Who's coming in the room? Guys, say hello.
Just me and crop it while it's hot.
Just Randy. Who's crop it while it's hot? What is your first name, sir? Are you there? Crop it while it's hot. I can hear Randy. I don't hear you. Crop it while it's hot. If you have a microphone or something, maybe you are unable to talk, but that's all right.
Jessa made it.
Jessa, hey Jessa.
Hey, I didn't realize I got an invite, so I was like not looking at the screen.
That's all right. That's all right. All right. So we got two heads set up. There you go. Hello, hello. Chris says crop it while it's hot. If you can't talk, Chris, that's fine. But welcome in. We are a community, Chris, or I run a community called the Humble Togs Club. So Jessa and Randy and a bunch of other people that may come in here are part of that community. If you want to go see about the community, you can click my link in my bio and come and join us. But you're also welcome to hang here. Kids watching with me, so we're just going to observe. That's great, mate. All right. So are you a fairly beginner photographer, Chris? I know the other guys pretty much are. I'm just going to go through all beginner stuff today and talk about studio lighting a little bit, more theoretical based as ever. And then I have put up a thing on Facebook to ask for like models who might be interested to come in and be a model for us to then talk about the actual lighting on faces and stuff like that. So I'm just going to talk through like, you know, what you want to do with your lighting. So these guys here are going to effectively, if I were to shoot something and put just the light like this, effectively that would feel like a speed light or an off-camera flash in the sense that it's going to get harsh shadows, that it's going to be like, you know, light direct to the people's face. They're going to get harsh shadows under their thing. You can use that. Like I can do a shot like that, put it nice and high, and you're going to get like the butterfly shadow under the nose and stuff. And it could be quite cool. But that's one way to light something. If you had a single light, like the sun is going to have the sun essentially is a small light source in the sky, right? So it's shining directly on something, you're going to get harsh shadows. Same with this stuff. If you just leave you can see one of them there. There's the second one. So if you have a single light like this, it's going to leave harsh shadows. But again, that could be a look you're going for. Generally speaking, you just want to keep it nice and high. You don't generally want to shoot someone, generally speaking, at their face unless you want like a spotlight wire behind them, and certainly not under the face because that gives them like that ghoulish look. Who else is there? Trevor. Trevor, are you my friend, Trevor? Oh, it is Trevor. Sorry, mate. Yeah, I can see. I accept your request there. Pop in and say hi. There you are, Trevor. I didn't know if you were the Trevor I was thinking of. You are. Hey, Trevor.
Hey, Kurt.
What's going on, mate?
No, chilling, man. Appreciate
Good.
all your efforts.
Great. Yeah, thanks, mate. Nice to talk to you. Haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So look, I'll get on with this today. So that is one way to light things, right, with a direct light. But generally speaking, if we're talking about speed lights and flash and whatever, you generally want to bounce the light around either the room or against something to get to spread the light from a small source to a big source. When the light becomes a big source of light, you're going to not have those direct, sharp shadows on the people. Does that make sense, everyone?
Makes sense to me.
Resounding yeses. Okay, so there are many ways to do that, right? You can. If I was in this room, I am in this room. If I had no other tools with me and I had no other money to buy things, what you can do is look around the room. So let me just take you for a little tour. We're standing in a big white room right now. So this is called a cyc. That's the cyc wall, right? So that's a big white room. So if I had no other tools with me, I could point both of these lights into that wall and have my model stand over here. And as long as the light wasn't hitting her directly or him, right, the wall over there would be my light source. If I fired those two lights without any softboxes into that wall, and the light would just wash across them, so they would have you know, it would be like from the one side, like see how my face is actually being lit by that floodlight, but it's not too dissimilar from what we'd see. The light would hit one side of the face and then would be shadowed on the other side of the face because the light's coming from over there. However, in a white room, where there's also a white wall to this side, what would naturally happen is that you'd get a strong light across one side of the face, and then the light would actually continue and bounce back and give me a bit of a dimmer light on this side of the face. So it would actually be a really beautiful shot. It'd be good to have a model in here and try it, right? But I'm just kind of walking you, yeah?
Did you set up that studio like that yourself, or did
No.
you like renting the space and it came with that?
No, so these guys built the cycle. A lot of studios like this would build cycle, and it's just plywood that's bent. You build it up to the ceiling and brace it all, and then we just paint it white. So the studio that I'm in now is a studio that I used to rent and be a member of. What they do here is they have a membership. So there's like, I don't know, 50 members or something, all paying $100 a month. And each member can come and use the space for a period of a number of hours. I contacted the guys a couple of while ago as we were starting Humble Talks Club, and I'd actually left. I wasn't a member anymore because I wasn't shooting that much. But then I contacted them, and they said they were looking for someone to kind of look after the space. And I'm like, pick me. So I'm basically now the studio manager here, and that means I can work at my computer instead of my daughter's bedroom. I've got my computer and stuff over in there, and I just tidy up the space and organize the space. And when people come in, kind of look after them a bit like a studio manager. And then when there's no one here, I'm here for you guys.
So people come in, other photographers, and rent the space by the hour or something? Yeah. Okay, cool. Wow.
So I think Trevor, you asked about this, right?
Yeah, when you first posted about it, I
Yeah.
thought that you were basically, starting this like as an addition to the Humble Talks Club. It's like
Right.
yeah.
No, it's not my company. The deal I've got with them is they don't pay me. I just use the space now. So I'm doing them a favor by looking after the space. They're doing me a favor by giving me the space to work in. It's a win-win. So that's what I'm here for. But you can, if you want, Trevor's local. So you can, if you're in New York City, rent or be a member. And there's 2 studios. There's this one in Brooklyn and there's one in downtown Manhattan in Soho. So as a member, you can use either space, which is really cool. And the other space has a lot of different levels and stuff. This one's just a big open kind of warehouse, which means it's great. You can put your car in the front and everything. Anyway, this is not an ad for them, but if you wanted to join, I can definitely help you out with that.
No, but I like want to know. I'm asking because like I've seen some spaces like that, and I was like, did you build that? Like I'm just trying to understand because, like for me, I don't even know how to wouldn't even know how to get to that, like building something like that. And I've never even used a backdrop like that.
You don't need to. You could do this with a white sheet. A white sheet.
Yeah, but I've seen TikToks with it, and it's so cool. Like from other people, like wow, where are they getting this setup from?
I mean, that's a professional level studio, right? So in here we have all the paper rolls. So all the paper rolls are there, and they're all paper rolls of like different colors. So if you just had that in your garage, Caitlin's got it in her garage. She's just setting up. You can just set up that paper roll on a stand and essentially get the same feel, right, as a big white wall. This just gives us more versatility. But what I want you guys to get in your heads is the understanding about what you can do with what you've got, because you can do that same thing if you've got a room that's got a white wall over there and a white wall over there. And then if you need a white wall, these things are about $30, $40. Actually, I don't know how much they are. I haven't bought one, but they can't be expensive. It's just a big flat, right? So this is like a black side on one side, and it opens up to a white thing. You just buy them from like art suppliers and put some tape in the middle, and you can build yourself a little box to do the same theoretical stuff I'm talking about. If you understand what you're doing, right? So that's kind of what I want to get you guys through, is to like, let's help you understand the stuff, and then you go and take that knowledge and use that knowledge at a wedding, at an event, at your house, like all these things. But if you understand what you're doing with light, that's the first part.
I've wondered about these boards before that you have right now. So like, do you have to edit out all of the marks and stuff when you're shooting somebody primarily, or do you sort of rely on the aperture to blur it out?
Those boards, I mean, you can use them as backgrounds. They're not designed for it to be as backgrounds. The paper roll is designed as a background. That's designed to be a seamless paper roll that is designed to be the background. Those guys are designed to help you bounce the light around, or take it away, away. So the black, I wonder if this will work here with the lighting. The idea with the black is actually to take light away. because if you, there we go. If you put, see that? Look at my face. It's taking light away. And if you shoot a headshot of me from over there and cut and you're not seeing this, the closer this is to my face, it just soaks the light up. If there's light coming through here, it's just going to soak the light up. So it's not going to bounce it. It's going to almost take it away. And you get these nice shadows on the nose and stuff, right?
I thought those things were sort of pop-up backdrops. I swear I've seen some seller that has something similar.
There's probably something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know that. There's a bunch of gear and stuff that I just like, I don't know where it comes from or what it's exactly used for. So
the cool thing is that once you get to the understanding point that I'm going to lead you guys through, once you understand the stuff, then you can use anything around you for any purpose. If you need to have a black background, you can go, all right, I'm going to use that as a black background and cut it off and frame it. And it can be used like, there's nothing to say you can't, but you need to just understand, well, where am I going to put it to look good and with the lighting and stuff. So if we go through and kind of help you guys understand the lighting, then like I said, you can use anything anywhere that, so you're always just problem solving with what you've got.
Yeah, and I'm always asking questions, sorry.
That's perfect. I love it. I love the questions. All right, so let me just go back. I want to just build you up from the ground up to talk about the light heads. So light heads on their own are, it's like the sun. They're harsh lights and whatever. And generally speaking, we want to soften the light up by taking a small light source and making it as big as we want, right? Sometimes you actually don't want it that big. You want it like maybe this big because you want to light a face and still have dramatic shadows around the face. If you have a big softbox, the lighting is going to be a lot more flat and just everywhere on the person, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I've only ever used umbrellas too. I see a lot of softboxes in videos and they look nice, but I don't know if they'll work with like my lighting kit. And so all I have are umbrellas. I don't know. Great.
Yeah, I'm about to start with umbrellas. Umbrellas are like the easiest thing in the world to understand and think about. So umbrellas they're also the cheapest thing, right? So these heads come with umbrellas. It's just cheap to buy. And if you think about it, what is this umbrella doing? Let's have a look. So the umbrella is designed for popping on here and spinning the head around. So the head is firing backwards. You see that? The head is firing backwards and then the light is coming that way. But the umbrella is spreading the light, right? The way that the light is spread, like where is it going? Like always think about light like playing snooker. The light is going in a direction and then it's going to bounce back like a snooker ball, right? So in an umbrella, the light is going up into the umbrella and then it's just kind of like wafting anywhere and everywhere, just forward-ish. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like throwing around. So if you are shooting kids, like I actually use them if I'm shooting kids like a cake smash or anything like that, where you don't know where the kid's going to go and you don't want to have to be like going to move the lights all the time. These work great if you just want to kind of like vomit the light at that direction kind of thing and not be too artsy about it. Right, so that's kind of why they're cheap. That's why you don't really see anyone other than like people use them in like shopping centers and like they're stereotypically a little bit more like a cheaper tool. But I've got nothing against using it. You just got to know when and why to use it. When you
used it for my headshots I did, Kurt, and I only used one umbrella and I just only used one light because I wanted like shadows for those headshots I did.
Right.
It worked well, but I didn't have it like far away. I actually had it pretty close to my subjects.
Yeah. So that'll pop the light into themselves. I think you get more control with the softbox, and I'm talking about the difference in like there and there. Like in a softbox,
I want to try that.
Yeah, in a softbox, it's like Caitlin's there. I invite Caitlin over.
I want to put some softboxes and try that.
Caitlin's here. Danielle's here. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Drew. How you doing? Are you a new friend? There's Hannah. Drew, welcome. I see you're a photographer as well. We're a group called Humble Togs Club. Hey, Caitlin, come and join us so I can, like, if you talk to me, I can hear you when you're over there.
Who's that?
It's Matt. That's Matt. Is that my friend with the mushroom and the parachute?
Yeah,
How you doing, Matt?
not bad.
Good, mate. Just mute yourself, guys, when you're not talking, because I can hear some background noise there. Is that your microphone, Matt? Matt, is that your microphone?
Sorry?
I can hear some background noise there, mate. Can you mute yourself while you're not asking a question? There's a button to mute. That's better. So if you want to ask a question, Matt, unmute yourself. There's just a bit of background noise there where you are. Okay, so I'm here, guys, talking about studio lighting from the very, very basics. If you're an advanced photographer, this isn't really for you, although we have a group called Humble Togs Club. If you go up there and click the link, you can go and check it out. It's a group for photographers who aren't jerks to each other. Is that you again, Matt? There's just some noise there, Matt. Yeah, you got it? There you go.
Not me, it's not me.
Oh, not you. Oh, sorry. Okay, so who's the noisy one? Matt's
Everyone but me is muted now, but
okay.
I
All right,
don't
keep
think
an eye on
it's-
that. That's fine. So yeah, guys, little quick ad about Humble Togs Club. That's a community here, which a bunch of these guys are members, and we have a community called Humble Togs Club, which is a community for photographers who aren't dicks to each other. Come in and check it out. The link is in my bio. We are today talking about studio lighting, and I've just talked about a little bit about the umbrellas, which is kind of the cheapest, easiest way to spread the light when you haven't got walls around you to work with or anything else to work with. That is a good place to start. But I think you get more control in a softbox because you can really shape it where you want it. And the umbrella just kind of like vomits the light forward. And like I said, that's actually not a bad thing if you're shooting kids or something and you just want the light to just go forward and not particularly kind of hit any spot. So not a bad thing, just a cheap, basic way of spreading the light around. A softbox means that you put the head the other way. So the head is coming, this is called the light head. So a softbox just means you put the head this way and you put a thing on the front of it to take the light from a big area to a large area, right? So I'm actually going to take you guys with me for a second to walk through what we've got over there as options.
This is so cool. I've never like seen anybody like break it down or like show us a softbox. Like I literally don't know. Like I've had to figure all this out. So
that's why I think this is cool.
this is cool. I think it's really cool.
Caitlin, you got your kids with you, Caitlin? Ben, I'll invite you. No smart ass comments though, Ben, while we're getting used to stuff here, but say hello. Ben's actually been in the studio here. He came in, knocked on the front door one day. So here's my array of softboxes, okay? So see how we've got like a little box, a little circle one. There's a kind of medium circle one. And then we call these guys octoboxes. I think they have 8 sides. Yeah, that one does. Is that 8 sides? Yeah, 4, yeah. So that's a relatively large octobox, right? So you would use that if you wanted to light more than the face. I don't use big octoboxes like that much at all because most of my stuff is headshots, and that's it. So that would light like from the top of someone's head down basically a long way. If you're just wanting to light someone's face in a dramatic way, I'd use something like this, maybe that one. And I personally actually just love a rectangle one. Okay, I find there's more shaping I can do with a rectangle one. I'm going to put you guys back on here now that I've shown you some options. Yeah, this is my first foray into trying something like this with the old Facebook Live. TikTok's going to deny me now. I'm going to request and try to mute. You go ahead. It's more, Caitlin, so that if I'm over there, you can talk to me because I'm not reading the screen. That's why I've got it set up like this. So come in and ask questions when you like, and then mute yourself again when you if your kids are running around. So here's my softbox. This guy is my favorite softbox. I use all the time, basically for headshots and actors, because it really is kind of right where I want it for. It's got a little bit of length to kind of get the light on the body a little bit, but it's narrow on the edges to kind of just focus that light on the, the rectangle of the headshot that I want to do, right? So that guy goes on here. Another feature of the pro photos, which I love, and they kind of came up with, and all the rest of the light creators were like, because like, let me show you a bit closer. The way this goes on is with like a bit of rubber ring that goes around the head and you just snap it shut. Every other light in the world always has this dicky connection you have to push in and then twist to like lock in. And then Pro Photo were like, that's stupid. We'll just do a rubber ring. And I was like, that is genius. I love it.
Those
Anyway,
boxes only work on Profoto heads.
this particular box is made by Profoto. So the answer is it attaches to the heads perfectly. Whatever. I'm sure you can get attachments. I've seen them. You can get attachments for different, if you've got a Profoto box and a something else head, you can get
I've got
attachments.
Westcott heads, so I was
Right.
worried like I can't get boxes for it. I don't know.
You probably absolutely can, but I'd just get the ones made by Westcott.
Okay.
In general, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't buy the ones made for the boxes. It's generally, they just always go together. It's just that if you happen to have spent a lot of money on Profoto boxes and then you change up your heads, you might want to then get the adapters. But if you're just starting out and you've got a certain type of head, go to that website and see what they've got for boxes and stuff.
Okay.
But there's nothing really that different in quality between like a Profoto box and a other brand Westcott box. It's just a way to separate the light. The difference in quality you will notice is from the head itself. So these particular heads are just super reliable. They're always pushing out the exact same amount of light. Some cheaper lights you'll get will do like slight differences in the amount of light coming out. But depends on their recharge rate, that kind of thing. So these guys like literally will just go all day. And the color's always the same. Sometimes, again, cheaper lights go slightly for different colors at different times. And then the softbox is just made of this. So, right? Usually Velcro, like there's some of them pin on or whatever. So I'll take this a bit closer while I can. All right, so the softbox is doing two things. All right, on the inside, all right, it's just a hole. So that is the direct face of the light head itself. There's like an opaque filter on top of the front of the thing there, but essentially what you're looking at is just the opening right there. And then this is all silver to kind of. Can you see? Everyone can hear me?
And now I can. We lost audio for just a second.
It was because someone was $1,000 invention. What are you talking about? Just got grad photos on JPEG. What are you talking about, Ben? Are you being a smart aleck? I don't know. Usually Ben's just being a smart aleck. I only have hard box. Yeah. I'm going to ignore you, Ben. I'm just trying to get through the stuff, mate. If you have serious questions, let me know. But let's try and keep this one focused. Yeah. So the silver stuff is just pushing the light forward. Right. This is the silver edges, and then this guy is like the inner skirt or the whatever you call it. Like it's just diffusing. It's one layer of diffusion on the inside of the softbox. So it's stopping. If there was no diffusion, right, you still have the hot direct light. So the diffusion is spreading the light, even though the actual light is pumping into this part of the circle, right? The diffusion is starting to spread it over like essentially you're turning this sheet into the light source when the light hits it at the back, because the light naturally, with the silver behind it, spreads across this area. So it does that once, and then it actually does it again. So there's a second layer of diffusion in most good softboxes. Some cheaper ones will just have one layer, but again, this is studio stuff here. So this has two layers of diffusion so that it's turning the light into a white sheet once and then twice. So by the time it comes out of here, it's much more even, and it's certainly not coming from a hot spot in the middle. It's spread out like the whole rectangle is now the light source, right? That is the structure and purpose for how a softbox is built, right? So now that is my light source, you then got to figure out, well, where do I want to put it on the people? I'll generally talk about people here. You can think about it with products and all sorts of whatever else you're shooting in the studio, but my stuff is always people, so I'll generally always default to be talking about people. So then what becomes important is where you put the light box. Now I'll put this back here a little bit just to show you some scale. But for me, it's really important when I shoot actors and people in general, you always want to think about the light hitting someone here, okay? So if it's here, if it's, like slight differences, it's a different style of lighting. For me, it's like, I'm gonna show like on the nose, I call it. So like the nose and the forehead is the direction you want to hit someone, like in between the eyes with a softbox if you want to light their face nicely. And you can do all sorts of other creative stuff and break all those rules. But as you're learning, you want to figure out, well, where is that point for the person's face coming down and on the nose, right? You don't want to go at the nose. You want to go on the nose, down and on the nose. So to me, if I was the person, the subject, where's that hitting me? Can you tell me, where's that hitting me?
Down the nose?
No.
No.
It's hitting me in the chest.
The humble togs like thing is like right over your head, so I'm not on my view at least, so I wasn't sure.
I'm a little bit close. That's fine. This isn't about right and wrong answers, guys, but like, can you see how if you draw a line from the head, you can see the head there, right? Draw a line from the back of the head. It's probably hitting me about here, is it?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's coming to here.
So base it on where the head is aimed, and then that would. So if I wanted it down your nose, I would need to lift the box up a bit to hit you down the nose. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm pretty tall, so you go. For me, I would have the light here, and that hit me smack in the nose right there.
I definitely wouldn't have known to put the box that high. I probably would have changed the angle of the box itself versus raising it.
Yeah. So I honestly, I tend to actually shoot about like that, and I do throw the box sideways a little bit. You can. It does affect things. So you can try that. You know, try different things. But to me,
I meant I would have just angled the head differently. Sorry. Yeah, I would have since it was hitting your chest, I would have aimed the head up a little more versus lifting on the tripod. So I didn't know that.
Great thought. That will be a big difference, and I'll show you guys with the photo later when we have a model. There's a big difference in doing what you just said, like being low and lowering and aiming the head up. It's now hitting me in the nose, but it's hitting me more like flatly in the nose.
Yeah.
Not down the nose to give you nice shadow. It'll be a bit more flat and a bit more, I think, boring at the face as opposed to coming down the face. I always think, hitting someone there on the nose, like down on the nose, is always prettier and more, just gives it a nice shape.
I didn't know that. Yeah, cool. Okay.
And those subtle differences can make a difference with a softbox. It won't really make a difference with an umbrella. Okay. Why are you throwing softboxes at your models? Is that a joke, Elle? I'm not sure. Are you up too late? Why are you throwing softboxes at your models? I think that's a joke. I said Elle to Ben, we're not going to make jokes today, just so I can keep things rolling. Is that a joke? Just want to confirm. I know it's late there. Elle's in Australia. You kept saying hitting them. Yeah. Sorry, I do hit it. I hit them in the face with my softbox. Yeah. So here, this is too flat, but it's also now flat at my forehead. You see all that? The head is pointing at my forehead, not my nose. It's too tilted up to. Yeah.
I see that. Yeah. So the goal is to have it angled, like, what are we talking? 45 degrees?
It's pretty much 45 degrees. Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty much 45 degrees. 45 degrees at the nose, on the face, and then you're the photographer. You're here shooting at the person. The light's coming from above your head. If it's too high, if it's above 45 degrees and really pointed down, you'll start to get deeper shadows on the eyes. You can do it that way, but you just got to be aware that'll start happening. And then the other way I shoot this kind of stuff all the time is I have my reflector. 1 second, I'll go pull out my reflector. Where's my camera bag? Yeah.
Does anyone else feel like they're in school right now, like they're in class? Because I do. I love it.
I do too.
That's great. This is kind of fun. This is the first time I've done this, guys, on the TikTok Live. If you guys are joining me for the first time and you're not part of Humble Togs Club, come in, say hi. We're a bunch of humble togs who are helping each other learn photography. Clark is there. Hey, Clark. Drew is back again. Anyone else here that's not part of Humble Togs, say hello. Hello, Rocky. Danielle's there. A mushroom friend is there. Not sure of your name, sir. Or was that Matt? You said it was Matt, right? Oh, that's Matt. Yeah, hey, mate. How you going? I'm going to keep following you, mate. And then there's a Rocky is in here as well. Say hello, Rocky. If you guys are wanting to see more of this stuff, go up to the link in my bio is Humble Togs Club. We're a community of photographers who aren't dicks to each other. All right, so that is a softbox. So reflector. This is a reflector. It's, I don't know, like might be $50 or $70 or something, but like I can shoot anywhere with this one thing and my camera most of the time. When I shoot outdoors, I'm always just holding this reflector. And generally speaking, you want to clamshell this thing with the light from wherever it's coming from. So if your light is coming from outside, I'm always clamshelling in the sense, I call it clamshelling because it's like that. You want the light to be coming down and the reflector is kicking it back the opposite direction, again, like a snooker ball, to the person's face. So if the light's coming from up there, I'm clamshelling here, there, does that make sense? So
Yeah.
on this one, the light is coming down, right? It's hitting her in the nose, him or her in the nose right there. My reflector, is kind of like that would be the clamshelling way to do it, right? That like there, because see how it's like there? That would be the clamshelling way to do it. Quite often I'll do it between here and here, because here is under the face, flat under the face, and here is directly opposite the clamshell vibe, right? So you can play with that, but generally that's how I shoot all the time. This person there, this down the nose, this kicks it up into the eyes, and I wonder if you can see it here, if I am here. There's no light coming from that wall. Let me see if I can, this is a direct light, so this will definitely work. See how I've got shadows under my eyes? Right, this reflector, it's shining really a lot there because of the floodlight, but that's essentially what you're trying to do is this is a direct light, so imagine that was a softer light. This still works the same way. You're filling the shadows with the reflector.
And you use that one when you're sort of like doing street photography or whatever. Do you?
100%.
Because I just got one that has like a little stand, and it came with like a few discs, and I was gonna try it out. I just ordered a cheap set on Amazon.
Yep, absolutely. My other photographer that I used to have at the studio she felt more comfortable as a female putting this on a stand in front, so she had two hands on the camera. I've always just held it with one hand like this and held the camera with one hand. Again, it's comfortable doing that, but I know she was always like, I can't hold them both, so she'd put this on a stand. It just meant that I move around a lot and move quickly between shoots, so adjusting a stand is a bit picky for me, but again, depends on what you're comfortable with. Okay, so that is basic theory about softboxes, and then you've got the bigger softboxes. So depending on what you're doing, as you get bigger, you're less worried about that down the nose thing and more about what you're doing. So if you've seen anything that's been like a full length in a studio like this, generally the size of the softbox becomes as big as the person, right? And then you're not shooting down the nose at them, you're shooting across the body and shaping it else in other ways. So the down the nose thing is particularly for smaller softboxes where you're really pushing the light in that way. As you get bigger, it becomes more flatter and more across the room, that kind of shot. And if you see all those fashion shots you see in fashion magazines are all generally huge softboxes. I went to a lighting workshop once upon a time in Australia, and I was just kind of pissed off because they spent the whole time teaching us how to light with these huge $2,000, $3,000 softboxes and parabolic reflectors and stuff. And I'm like, none of us have got that. Like, what are you doing teaching us about that? Like, teaching this stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of part of the reason why I wanted to start Humble Talks Club, etc. Who else we got there? Jorge, how you doing? You say let me join. I usually just want to get to know you, mate, because I know some people are in here to be nuisances. So show us you're not a nuisance and I'll let you join. Are you a photographer, Jorge? And Patrick, say hello in the chat too. How you doing? That's the softboxes. That's the bigger softboxes. And then I want to go back to just talking to you about the room and the space you're in. So again, if I didn't have the softboxes and I wanted to light up, and this is like when you're talking about flash photography too, as you guys are learning the flash stuff, I want you to be thinking about flash photography in the exact same way we're talking about this stuff. So when you're out there at parties and you guys all asked to learn the flash photography stuff first, go through that flash module and get your brain around what's happening with light. And when you do understand that, whether it's a flash, whether it's a softbox, whether it's a light, whether it's the sun and the light outdoors, it's all the same. It's all about where is the light coming in like a snooker ball, which direction is it coming, and how can I bounce it around and whatever. So if you only had these light heads and you wanted to do that thing of bouncing the wall, then you would pull in the boards, the thingo, and you could use a person or just something to block the light. Because if this was, let's say this was over here, I'll move you guys in a second. Move you guys to like here. There you go. Which way can you see? The psyche is facing that way, right? So if I'm shooting the person over there, but I've got this light and I want to fire it into that wall, so it's bouncing across the room, right? The person is, let me see if I can get this angle stuff right so you guys can kind of follow me. I'm going to put you all the way back here. So I'm here, right? I'm shooting that way. The person's standing here. That light is going that way and bouncing off that wall. At the moment, that light is potentially going to hit me and you'll get a sharp shadow. So what I want to do is put a block here, which would be this board.
Hey, Kurt, can you possibly move the Humble Togs banner, because you tend to be right in that.
I was just going to ask that. You should be able to just put your thumb on it and drag it upward.
I can put it like, it only goes like there, there, there. I don't know. Can I make it smaller? No. I'll put it way up there. How's that?
Better.
That's good, yeah.
Right. So, again, like I'm using stuff that's like proper studio stuff, but doesn't have to be. You can use, like a chair or a chair with a sheet on it. Like what you're doing here. Right, so say if that's there, oops, bouncing around. Right, all I'm doing there is I'm making sure that the light isn't going to cross into them. The light's going to go over, and then that whole wall over there is becoming my source of light. Right, does that make sense? Kind of getting a bit theoretical here, but what I want you guys to understand is you can do this stuff without softboxes and without fancy gear.
So wait, what are we doing right now? You're just trying to, so in this scenario, we're not using a softbox and we're blocking the light so that we can control the direction of the light. Is that what we're doing?
Kind of, yeah, kind of. And I want you to put your head around, if this was a speed light or a flash at an event and you didn't have a good way of shooting anyone and you wanted to do something like this, you could use a speed light to throw light against a wall and then have that wall be the light source, like on a dance floor. Or I think you were asking Jessica once upon a time about, setting these up on dance floors. People put them up into the ceiling and stuff and then light the room up. You can use that to make that wall a light source. And then that blocky thing is just blocking the light from hitting me in the face directly from its angle. So now the light is all that whole wall.
I see what you're talking about. So, so that would be if that light right now, the one on the stand, is actually like you, the photographer, with the speed light, for example, and it's just aimed toward the wall over there so that it bounces and then illuminates the subject more widely dispersed, right? Yes. Okay.
But the point of this guy is that I don't want that light to also splay towards this direction and hit me directly. So this is isolating that light to be that wall is the only place the light is coming from, and it's not going to hit me through that board because I've blocked it.
I think I halfway got it, but maybe I'm not very smart.
It's a bit more theoretical, a bit harder to explain that one. But does anyone have any questions about the softbox stuff and the umbrella stuff, reflector stuff, anything like that?
I have a softbox question.
Yeah, go ahead. Who's that?
It's Caitlin.
Okay, then, hey.
I shoot with 2. Is that bad?
Definitely not bad. The point is what's your decision-making process to do that with 2? So one of them is what they call a key light, right? Mm-hmm. So the key light is the one that's the strongest, basically. And if you're shooting babies and kids and stuff, Caitlin, the key light is the one that, in theory, should be still hitting the baby in the nose. Elle is controlling herself from making that joke now. But hitting that baby in the nose means that you're going to create some nice shadow around their cheek and stuff like that. So you can use a second one. When you use two, the second one is doing what I was doing with the reflector. So you are filling in the shadow on the opposite side from the one you're hitting in the nose, right? So say you want to hit in the nose, and that particular softbox, you want to not have shadows on the underneath of the feet or something. You would put a secondary softbox to light up the other side or fill in the shadows.
Yeah.
Having said that, you also might set up two that are evenly lit to do things like the cake smash and whatever, where babies are going to turn their heads around. You haven't got time to move the softbox on their nose all the time. You just want to capture it, right? So that's completely fine to use two softboxes, both evenly spread, so that
I think mine are evenly spread,
Right.
and I can't change it.
Oh,
It just has
okay.
like an on and off switch, but they're also
okay.
not like super. I just got them to try
Sure.
it,
Are
so they're
they
like not expensive.
they're flat? They're flash though. They're not like model lights.
And no, they're like model lights, so they just are always on when I
They're
flick
always
the light
on.
on. Yeah.
So what settings do you have? You have to be at like above 400 on that ISO.
I think I'm around 250.
Okay, 250
But
at
I
what?
also have like my back light from behind me because my garage is typically open because it's so hot here.
Right, yeah.
I don't know
And
what my other one is. I'd have to go look.
no, that's fine. So the only challenge with lights that don't flash is that they're generally just a lot less in power. So you're gonna, I mean, if you're shooting at those ones we're shooting at like 1.4, 1.8, you've got enough light there to do that. But like I was showing you, that's pretty risky to be shooting down there because you're not going to have, both eyelashes in focus, things like that.
Right.
So shooting at like 2.8 and 4 is probably safer for those babies.
Okay.
But it just means that your ISO may have to come up if your shutter speed doesn't get too slow. But you're just balancing those three things. And again, there's nothing wrong with shooting in any style, full stop. And I'll always say that. There's all the things I'll show you guys. Like if you go, Kurt, I want to, for the fun of it, light someone from up their face and create a ghoulish look. That's your decision-making process on that. So there's nothing wrong with doing anything against what I've said is a good thing to do, but you would do it for a reason, right? If you understand how that goes, you would go, well, okay, well, I'm going to light both softboxes evenly because I want the even light across everything so that if the baby moves or toddler moves around, that's the decision-making process. Like I said, I've used the umbrellas. Yeah.
Matt's trying to get back in. He's been trying to get in for like 5 minutes now. Can you invite him back
Matt?
in so that that's Matt down there with the hang glider and the mushroom. I couldn't remember because I know the profile pictures, but I couldn't remember whose name it was. So
yeah. Hey Matt, is that someone that you know, Jessa?
yeah, that's Matt. He's in our Humble Togs.
Oh right. This is what's hard about the difference between TikTok and
I know. It's
Humble
hard with the names. Matt, you need to put your real name in there. Don't hide behind the screen name.
And guys, I know not Hannah. Bloody hell, lost names for a second.
That Humble Togs thing moved again too. Like automatically, it just replaced itself, which is kind of annoying. But we'll just roll with it.
This
It's
one?
literally over your eyes right now.
Oh, that's weird. Oh, look, I've just got rid of it. Did I get rid of it?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Guys, I just made a post on the weekend as well. I hope you guys all see that. But certainly for you guys that I know now, like Jess, I know, Caitlin, I know, all you guys, Randy and all that, I know. As I'm getting used to knowing people's faces, it is helpful for me to be able to see that your name on TikTok is the name on thing. I'm getting used to it. Like, there's certain people that have different. Man's best friend I know very well because he's always in here, and that's Randy. And his name's Sean on Humble Togs Club, guys. So if there's a guy called Sean, that's actually Man's best friend, who I call Randy because it's kind of his nickname, and I like calling people by their nicknames.
You're doing better than me. I can't remember anyone's name, like let alone a screen name. So, but now that I asked Matt directly, because the like parachuter or hang glider, I think I will remember that. But
yeah. I mean, that's really going to throw me, that parachutey hang glidey one, because I have seen you a couple of times before, Matt. But it's going to throw me for a while. But we'll see. as it helps me, and I think for our community with Humble Togs, it helps me and everyone, I think, to get to know who people are. I made a post about that, and there were some of the people that said, oh, they weren't comfortable sharing their faces and stuff, and that's completely fine. But I think as we become more of a community that does know each other, even if we never actually meet in real life, that's just, there's more value to that community, I think, and more friendship and all that stuff. Clark's is on the subway heading to your area. Thanks, Clark. Come and say hello if you want. I'll be here for a couple of hours today. All right, so I feel like...
I have an opinion on something.
Of course. Is it Mike? Matt? Sorry, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I predominantly do wildlife photography.
Yep.
And I've just bought I've just bought a second-hand lens today. I've gone for the Sigma 5500. I just wondered what you thought of it, whether or not it's a good lens or...
A 5500?
Yes.
What does that mean? Usually a lens is like something... 5500? Like, is that...
Sigma.
That can't be the length of the lens, right? Is it 500 or something?
It is a 500mm lens, but you
Right.
can go from 50 to 500 on it.
Oh, I see. So what you mean to say, and just so you know the language, when you say that what that lens is, it's called a 50 to 500. Maybe that's what you just, maybe because of your accent, maybe that's what you meant.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Right. I thought you said 5200, like the number.
Yeah, Matt,
5200.
I thought you said 5,500. So
5500.
sorry. Yeah.
No, that's right. So I get you now, Matt. So a 50 to 500 mil lens. So what does it say on the aperture on that? Do you know the other number on there?
I think it's f5. I think it's f5 to 6.3. I think.
Yeah. So 5 to 6.3. So that is on the level of lenses available to you. That is a more of a cheaper level lens because of the aperture being able to open only to 6.3. But there's nothing wrong with it. It just means that that when you zoom in past like about halfway, it's going to stop down the aperture. So the widest it can get is 6.3. Now for birds and stuff, that's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you're going to have to open up the shutter or the ISO to kind of compensate, depending on how bright the day is. If you've got a bird in the middle of the day, it's completely fine. As you get towards like sunset, you're really going to struggle with balancing the ISO and the shutter to not have shake. So that's why you would want to use a tripod so that you're not got camera shake from because on a tripod you can shoot at 500 mil still at like 125th of a second if you need to, or lower even, but then you've got movement of the bird too, right? So the answer to your question is, look, there are certainly lenses that get more expensive and become more beautiful when you look at them and when you test these lenses out. You can tell the difference between a really beautiful $3,000 lens versus the one you're talking about. Yeah. However, if you know the limitations of the lens, you can definitely just get beautiful stuff with it, knowing what your limitations are.
Yeah, in our club, we have got a guy there that is a Nikon Pro, and all I've heard from him is buy the Nikon 200 500, and I said, well, I haven't got that kind of cash.
Fine, yeah, fine. And that's honestly the ethos that I've got is learn how to be a good photographer with the gear you've got, right? Exactly. So hopefully I can teach this stuff with you guys and throw these ideas around and help you get good at what you've got. And look, some of any of you guys may be very, very happy to stay with the gear you've got the whole rest of your career or life and be happy with that, and that's completely fine. I just want to help you then become better with that gear. But then anyone who is wanting to get better, at certain points in your career, or like I know Jessa there is definitely wanting to grow a business and whatever. So at certain points, she'll hit certain bits of going, oh, I see why this lens is now limiting me, and that's when you go up and step up the ladder with that stuff. So yeah, it's not a bad lens at all. You're just limited by that aperture. So definitely shoot on a tripod, and then play with the ISO. And honestly, the thing is about ISO, it used to be that like trying to limit your ISO is important. These days, actually, with the noise reduction in Photoshop and Lightroom, it's quite amazing what it does. Like literally quite amazing. So you can shoot at something like 6400 And back in the day, we had a bit of noise reduction. It would kind of do an okay job. These days, you can run an image shot at 6400 through the ISO, so the noise reduction, and it will clean that up like it's shot at 100. So when in doubt, rather than lower your shutter when you need to, because you might get a bit of shake or the bird moving or whatever, when in doubt, go up in the ISO because you can fix the ISO later, more so than you can't fix blurry bird later. Cool.
Great advice. Great advice.
Yeah, is there any other questions today, guys? I think this has been fun. Look, to be honest, I wasn't really advertising this because I thought about doing it about 5 minutes before the live started today. So this was a bit of a wing out. I have put up a thing on the other social media thing to ask for models who want TFP stuff. So sometimes, people, I'll be able to get someone to come in and we'll actually do some shooting with them and talk about it and then show you guys on the back of the camera. That'll be fun. All this stuff is ahead of us, and like I said, it's early days with Humble Togs Club, but if you are scrolling on by and seeing what we're doing here, it's a great place to be. A lot of the guys here are members in Humble Togs Club. Come and join us. You can go and do that at the link in my bio up that way. And if anyone had any other questions, let me know. Anything else today?
No, this was awesome. Actually, I really love seeing and having the exchange, because this is so much better than watching a YouTube video, getting a bunch of stuff that I can't even keep up with because I had 20 questions to the things somebody said and I can't ask them, So I really appreciate this.
Great. And then realistically, this is out here on TikTok, which is for everyone, and most of everyone here is at the moment in Humble Togs Club. But realistically, I can do the same thing on Zoom, right? So the Zoom meetings we run are private inside Humble Togs Club. But I guess this is good because the people that are scrolling past are like, oh, who's this guy? This, whatever. So we want to try and grow the community as well. So I guess it doesn't really matter which way we do it. I know there are some people in the community that aren't on TikTok, so I want to do this kind of stuff on the Zooms as well. But it's a fun little experiment today. And
I'm going to shoot off. I'm just going to have my dinner, but I'll speak to you guys soon.
Awesome, Matt. Thanks a lot. I'm pretty much going to close out of here if there's no other questions, guys. A couple more seconds.
I was going to say,
yep.
I was going to say, I do like this format with having us all here. So if we do have a question, we can ask it really quick instead of trying to put it in the chat and try and whatever.
Saves everyone's fingers. And honestly, if I'm over here, it's nice to have you in my ears while I'm doing stuff as opposed to having to run over and read the thing. So yeah, it's cool. I like it.
Right.
Cool, guys. I'll leave you
a message on Humble Togs.
Great. Thanks, guys. So do I normally can't talk because I'm at work, but it's still nice to listen. That's great, Danielle. So yeah, guys, see you over in Humble Togs Club. I've got a bunch of messages and reviews and comments to kind of catch up on. I will try to do that today. If I not, I'll get a bit more time tomorrow, etc. But I appreciate all you guys. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.